Hello everyone, it's Andrew from GemTCG. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about how I can manage my eBay and TCGplayer inventory. And I have around, I think, 100,000 cards listed across both platforms. And I'm just going to show you guys exactly what I list to each platform and then how I handle both of them or manage both of them. And things have changed a lot recently because I can list so much cards on eBay faster than I can on TCGplayer using TCG Automate. So now I'm almost completely shifting over to eBay. So this system and method that I use isn't probably going to be different than what most people talk about. So either you're going to find it very helpful or you're going to think it's very wrong, but at least it'll be interesting. So let's start with what I list on TCGplayer because it's much more simple and easier to comprehend. But actually, before we get into that, I want to say that when it comes to handling two different inventories and two different marketplaces, a big question I get is, do you cross-list them? How do you manage cross-listing your cards? And personally, I think that is a very bad idea. I don't think you should be listing your cards on multiple marketplaces because unless there's an affordable way for them to be delisted when an item sells, I think that is just calling for a huge headache when you're getting a sale on TCGplayer and then you need to update the quantity on eBay, or a card goes up in price and then you have to update it on eBay and then you also have to update it on TCGplayer. Like, that just sounds very stressful and inconvenient. And considering you could sell things for much higher on eBay, I don't even know why you would entertain TCGplayer for the same card. It doesn't make sense to me. Unless you comment down below if there is a solution to that, but I have not heard of anything that would be helpful for something like that. And then let's first start with TCGplayer. And I'll also show you guys my inventory towards the end. But for TCGplayer, very simple. I list only competitive cards that are used in tournaments and decks and whatever, which include, just like a relevant recent example is the Hilda from White Flare, or the Night Stretcher from Shrouded Fable, or the Pheasantipity EX. Now these are just regular bulk cards. They're not popular characters. They're trainer cards that most people just throw in their bulk and you buy it for a penny. And the reason why I sell these on TCGplayer as opposed to eBay is because I've found that most people buy those types of cards on TCGplayer, and a lot of people use the cart optimizer on there so that if I have, let's just say, like 10 cards that they need from their deck, and then someone else has 20 cards, if they add all those cards to their cart, the cart optimizer would possibly put my 10 cards into their order, so then I can get a bigger sale. And when it comes to deck building, that is very important because I think there's 64 cards in a deck. I'm not too familiar, but I know a deck can have a lot of cards in it. And you usually need 4 cards, which is like a play set. So someone buying 4 Hildas for $3 a piece, that's $12 that I just paid 4 cents for. So getting those sales on TCGplayer, one, it's a lot quicker to list them when I have a big quantity of it. And 2, it's a lot quicker for these sales because if you have a competitive card and you have it priced at market, it will sell. Sometimes it might take like a day or two, but most times it'll sell right away. And handling that on TCGplayer, for me, it just makes a lot more sense. So that's what I do for that. Now, you'll see when I show you my inventory, I do have a lot more cards listed that aren't just competitive cards. And most of it is just like old inventory that I've had listed there since I started 4 years ago. A lot of Dragon Ball Super cards, a lot of miscellaneous era cards, or blister exclusive, deck exclusive cards, stuff like that. Those random types of items I had listed on there. But moving forward, I'm going to be listing them on eBay because it's just easier for me to list on eBay now and I can make more profit. So that's pretty much it. Competitive cards, I've made a video on how to find competitive cards as well. So check that out if you're maybe not understanding what exactly that is. And then next up is eBay, which pretty much gets everything else, honestly. As far as bulk reverse hollows, ultra rares, secret rares, whatever, I will list that on eBay as singles. And the minimum price I put is $3 with free shipping. And the reason why I put that number is because it's a clean number, 3. And then after shipping, fees, and supplies, I get around $1 profit per item. And that's if they buy one card. Now, obviously, I could go lower and make it to where it's 50 cents profit per card if they buy one card. Or if they buy 2 cards, I'll make $1.50 or so. But I put it at $1 profit because to me, I just value my time more and I'm very busy. So I can't be taking a loss on a single card order or making 10 cents on that order because it's not worth it. I don't know if that sounds like I think I am better than that or above that, but I don't have time to be doing orders for 10-cent profit. That is why I'm staying away from TCGplayer too. I'm not going to sort a bunch of cards and then list a card for 10 cents. And then someone buys 50 of them and I make maybe 5 cents after the shipping costs. And it's like, I'm not going to do that. You can do it if you want. I don't recommend it at all, especially if you have a job or another business, another hustle going on. I don't understand how you could find the time to make a 10-cent order worthwhile. So I do it at $3 with free shipping. And then everything else is just like whatever the market price is, and then I double it. That's what I've been doing recently. I've literally been, if a market price is $10, I will list it for $20. If it's $20, I'll list it for $40. And the reason why I do that is because simply it just works. I don't know how or why, but people don't mind buying from my store if the market price is higher than what they could buy somewhere else. And mainly that's because, or maybe that's because I have a lot of feedback. I have really good quality pictures and listings. I've sold over 100,000 items now on eBay. So people trust my account. And I think eBay just pushes it more. They push my listings more when people are searching for an item. And that is how I do it. It's really hard to go in depth because it's literally just I list competitive cards on TCGplayer and then anything else goes on eBay. The only, I guess, exclusion is bulk commons and uncommons. Now those, I don't want to list them on eBay because it's not feasible. I think I get hundreds of thousands of cards in probably every other month, and I can't just list a bunch of commons and uncommons and sell those for $3. It wouldn't make sense. I don't think anyone would buy them. Unless it's like a Sun and Moon era card or an XY era card. Those I'll list for $3 free shipping. But Scarlet Violet, Sword and Shield era, commons and uncommons, those will go in bulk lots. And what those look like are, let's just say, 100 cards with one EX card in there. Very simple, very exact with what they're going to get. I don't specify anything of, oh, you could get a Charizard in here, or you could get a Mewtwo, whatever. I don't say stuff like that. And then the other one I do is 1,000 cards with a small stack of like 10 hollows. Something simple, again. And that is a good way to get rid of the bulk, actual bulk, in my opinion. Because, sure, it doesn't sell left and right. I'm not selling 100 card lots, 10 of them a day. I'll maybe sell 2 to 3 a day. And at $3 to $4 profit per lot, but it adds up over time and it helps you clear out the excess inventory. Because if you have no way to get rid of your bulk, then basically all of your profit is just going to be locked up into that. Or not all of it, but a lot of your profit is going to be locked up into just bulk that's taking up space and doing nothing. So what I recommend is finding an outlet for your bulk. Try to be creative. Don't copy those 2 examples I just gave, but think of a way that would make it interesting to the buyer. And that's pretty much it for those two platforms. Like it's a lot less. I know people probably clicked on this thinking it's going to be very complicated. Oh, I do V stars on TCGplayer, but I do V max on eBay or like something like that. I don't do that because I don't like complex things. I think if you have to make something complex, then you're doing something wrong, and in the long run, it's not going to be possible to maintain. So you need to find a way to keep things simple and fast. If something is taking you a super long amount of time, then it's probably because you're doing it wrong or you're trying to optimize things too much. There's this, I don't even know if this is an analogy, but it's something about how you can get 80% of the way done in, let's just say, 10 minutes. But then to get that remaining 20% done, it'll take you an hour. And a lot of people get caught up on that remaining 20% rather than just mimicking that 80% a bunch of times. For example, I like to make an example out of it. I can make a great eBay listing with 2 pictures, front picture, back picture, a good title, have the majority of the item specifics on there, like the card name, character, set, maybe the card type, it's a reverse hollow. And that all gets done on TCG Automate. It gets done automatically, which is why I mentioned those. And I personally would not fill them out if I didn't have to, unless it was a more expensive card, but that's whatever. So I could do that. That's like 80% of the way. And it's very quick to do it. But then some people would think I need to fill out all of the item specifics, like the country that it comes from, the card size, the language, the card type. Is it a darkness card, fighting card, whatever? And then they'll think, oh, I need more pictures because just one front and back picture isn't enough. Or I need to make this description very accurate to what the card is and talk more about the card. Those things take more time, but they provide less value. And you're just going to be holding yourself back if you focus on those. So it's a little bit of a extra tip to this video, but basically you're just going to want to keep things simple. But back to the original point of this video, eBay and TCGplayer. It's very simple to do, to manage both. If you find yourself getting burnt out or stressed out about maintaining both, then I would recommend either figuring out what's causing that issue. And if you can't figure that out, cut out one of them completely and then just focus on one. And then once you get that one fully mastered, then you could branch out a little bit. Because what I did when I first started, I was entirely on TCGplayer. And there are many reasons for that, but basically I was on TCGplayer, and then once I fully understood the platform and thought things aren't selling as well as I would like them to on TCGplayer, let me try something else. So then I went to eBay, started listing on there, and I noticed that the sales, I would get a lot more bigger sales and make them a lot more dollar profit. Not percentage, but dollar profit. So then over time, I just completely went to eBay, and that's basically 99% of my sales now. So that's just how I went for it. That was my, I guess, path to it. That's about it. Pretty simple. Try to keep things simple for your store, and it will pay off over time. And hope you guys found this video helpful, and I'll see you all in the next video.